choisir par quelle différence peuvent-elles se distinguer? Leurs cultures sont trop roses pour des vies passionnées. Des vies de dépendance ou des gens tout petits croient trop à l'importance de leur vie étourdie. Un moment de vacances, rien de préétabli. Moment d'indépendance, est-ce que c'est bon la vie? Un moment de vacances, oublier ses soucis, embrasser l'abondance qu'a à offrir la vie. J'ai envie qu'on avance, qu'on prenne de la distance. Les divisions m'ennuient, les divisions me nuisent. Un moment de vacances, rien de préétabli. Moment d'indépendance, est-ce que c'est bon la vie? Un moment de vacances, oublier ses soucis, embrasser l'abondance qu'a à offrir la vie.
What's up, guys? It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. We about to have a little celebratory Q&A, reminiscing, nostalgic session today. And it's gonna be nice. Oh shit, Sam is in here. What up, Sam? I got the chat set up in front of me so I can pay attention to what you guys are saying. I got some little alright, well, so let's skip right to the thing. See, today is about an album that I made called Everything. I made this album in 2016. Well, it came out in 2016. I think the album was, yeah, I guess it was finished in 2016, but I've been working on it for a little bit. And 2016 is a bunch of years ago at this point. So the crazy thing is that I was planning on going through the sessions for this album, and I have looked and looked and looked through every single hard drive that I've had ever, and I cannot find the original sessions literally anywhere. So what I have for you guys is I found the stems that we used for a Coachella performance. So basically, before the album was even done, I got the opportunity to play at Coachella, and I didn't really have hold on, let me turn up this a little bit. I didn't really have the album done by the time that we played Coachella, but for some reason I felt compelled to play the album at Coachella. So I played all the demos. I played the demos front to back, and I was pretty much there, but I changed a bunch of stuff after the fact. So I found the stems from the Coachella sessions. So these might actually be slightly different, and I'm missing a bunch of the stuff that I took out that I actually performed live, but I figured it might still be interesting for you guys to see and mess around with some of these stems. But yeah, that was the reason in the first place why I was like, you know what, let me postpone this stream for a second so that I can find these sessions. And then after scouring every hard drive that I have, there is nothing. There's nothing, no trace of the original sessions. So I don't really know how the fuck I did this, but we have the Coachella files, so we can mess with those at least. And then what I figured we could do is kind of do like a little Q&A type of situation. There's a lot of details to this album. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of questions that I've heard people have about the album for a minute, and we might as well open it up to you guys. And I'm really curious how you guys feel about the album this many years later. I'm curious about what questions you have, and I haven't heard these songs in so long, so I figured we'll listen to them together, and we'll talk about how they came about and why they are the way that they are. And then I'll show you the files that I have. But this is why you need to back your stuff up. This is why you need to have extra backups of everything, because stuff goes missing, and a few years later, all of a sudden, you're trying to do a Twitch stream with the projects, and you don't have them anymore. So back your stuff up. But yeah. So I'm curious. Okay, so I got you guys on here. I'm watching this little chat. I'm curious. First off, this album has 11 songs. I love all of these 11 songs very, very much, but I'm curious, what songs speak to you guys the most? Like, which song on this album, at this point in time, this many years later, which one is your favorite? I'm really curious about that. If we can start that off, let me know in the chat which one, which song that you guys like the most. Interesting. Ooh, somebody asked me if I'm gonna do a Q&A stream about Peter. And I already did like a couple weeks ago. I believe there's like a rip of that video somewhere, either on YouTube or somewhere on the Twitch channel somewhere. Feel free to peep that. But yeah, I already did that. Now let's see. Okay, cool, interesting. So we have quite a few votes for Tell Me How to Feel. And only one. Interesting. We have some City Bike votes. We have some Angel votes. And Catharsis and Murder, yep. Yo, shout out whoever's on the 99 Neighbors thing, but we got the little stereo set up right now. I can't do anything about that currently. City Bike, yup. You Lost Your Keys. You Lost Your Keys was a crazy moment for me. You Lost Your Keys was a crazy, crazy moment for me. Sick. Couple more votes for Angel. Yep, I see it. Somebody said group text. Wrong album, but I love you still. Okay, interesting. Well, let's start with that then. You Lost Your Keys. Random. I just saw the question. Somebody said, what's the story for You Lost Your Keys? You Lost Your Keys is crazy. Because it's a one take. It's first time I've really done anything like that. I was working out of a studio in LA, where I had been like adding a bunch of organ and live pianos and stuff on top of what I already knew what the album was going to be. So I was kind of in like the finishing sessions of the Everything album, and I'll play a little bit of You Lost Your Keys so you guys remember what I'm talking about. That's also something that's kind of funny about this album. I very deliberately mastered it pretty quietly so that we would be able to have dynamic range. So I saw somebody said, you gotta turn this up. And this is kind of blasting right now. So this is literally just two microphones set up on a piano, and I'm just singing while I'm playing everything, and I'm kind of just figuring it out as I'm going. And it was tough because after recording it, I couldn't really fix a lot of. I think this recording in general for me, this recording in general for me was really like a pivotal moment in terms of me trusting myself. It's a one take recording, two microphones, aka the piano and the vocalist coming through the microphones in just one recording. So I couldn't change anything. I couldn't fix stuff. I couldn't go in and tune errors. I was really locked, but I loved the way that this felt, and it felt extremely honest. So it kind of like, it gave me, it was like a push in a direction of trusting and accepting accidents and errors in my music. And letting it go and having that be a part of it. I think up until You Lost Your Keys, I had a very like perfectionist way of thinking of making music. And you can hear it in this whole album. It's extremely detail oriented, and kind of like a lot of puzzle pieces, like a lot of motifs, a lot of callbacks, a lot of, I don't know. I think I had something to prove. I felt like I needed to flex some sort of creative muscle on this. And then you lost your keys came along and kind of changed that. And after that, I've been much more open to doing things that are not perfect. And I think my music has grown a lot because of that. And it was another pivotal moment for me because I didn't plan out where the song was going. I had like the general idea of You Lost Your Keys. Like, I can't decide what key you're in. I knew that I was gonna move around a bunch of keys, but it wasn't planned whatsoever. So I felt in that moment, I think also it's the first time I've trusted my fingers, like trusted my hands on a keyboard, and kind of like just doing what physically felt natural, rather than thinking, oh, where do I go from this chord to this chord? And I literally just went from place to place, and I felt myself getting lost in where I was. I like multiple times in this song where I'm like, I go somewhere and I stop and I'm like, oh, I'm lost. I don't know where I am, but I'm gonna trust my hands to take me to the next place. And I think that did like a lot for the way that I write music today too. It's kind of like I try to not think about the math and the theory and the I don't know, like I try not to think as much, I guess. And this is the first time I really felt like not thinking about something and letting go and trusting my hands, trusting my instincts, trusting my musicality was gonna carry me without needing to involve my brain so much. So You Lost Your Keys is a very, very special place in my heart. I remember the label was fighting me on this one. They wanted this shit off, or at least they wanted me to cut it like way, way, way shorter. It's probably the longest. It's the second longest song on the album. It's 5 minutes and 2 seconds. Which is ridiculous for a piano freestyle. But for some reason, I was set on keeping this whole thing. It was also recorded the day before. It was recorded the day before I played this album for the person that it was written about. And in that same room where we recorded You Lost Your Keys, same microphone, same setup, same everything, is where we recorded all of the little like vocal moments throughout the project. So just and I remember vividly still being in that like, wow, like I trust myself. I trust my musicality, and I think that was part of why I was like willing to just press record, have a conversation, and see what happened, and then using clips from that throughout the entire album. It was the very last thing that happened in this process. So yeah, You Lost Your Keys was like very, very special to me. Still one of my favorites on this album in general. But yes, okay, now I got lost in this a little bit. Let me see what you guys are talking about in here. Yeah, Harley says perfectionism stopped me from putting stuff out all the time. 100%. I think perfectionism is one of the things that block your creativity the most. and block like your output. You gotta learn to let go of stuff because music is never finished. Everybody always says this. Music is never finished. You're never gonna finish the music that you're working on. You could always do more. Listening through this album right now, I'm like, there's so many things I want to change. So many things I want to change. Mostly like associated to the drums. I feel like I like a lot of the writing, a lot of the mixing. I would have changed, and a lot of the drums I would have changed. But you know, even me right now, a lot of people, have spoken very highly of this album, and I still feel like there's tons of stuff that I would have done differently. So if I had been a perfectionist when it comes to this album as well, you would have never heard it. It would have never came out. So yeah, fight your perfectionism. Like that's there's nothing in that. Melody in a third minute. Oh, of You Lost Your Keys. Yeah. So don't worry, I'm safe. Yeah. I could never write you. Yep. I remember that. Sometimes you gotta follow the song 100%. 100%. Trey says go crazy. Do crazy, actually. Did you end up feeling no longer lost once the recording ended? Yeah, shoot me the questions, guys. I like questions like that a lot. Whereas like, did you end up feeling no longer lost once the recording ended? I think it was a very cathartic thing. And I think something clicked. I don't know about like me feeling lost personally, because it was a crazy time for me that I was going through in general, but I think it definitely gave me faith in my ability to work things out, even when I'm in like deep waters. Because I definitely was on that one. I just started recording and I was like, oh, something special is happening right now. I have to just follow it until it's not here anymore. And I think it was an important song album wise as well, because something that I was like really obsessed with on this album was the fact that this is an album about an emotional process post a relationship. And I think this is one of those songs that really explain that. Because basically the whole song is just like, I don't know how to write you. I don't know how to describe you or put you, like I don't know how to paint you with music. I can paint all of the feelings that I have around you and around myself, but I can't decide what key you're in. I can't decide whether writing about you is a major key or a minor key. So I think like I think it definitely anchored the album in a way where I was like, oh, now I understand what just happened. And I've explained that this is not an album about a girl, but it's about the emotions that it triggered. So I don't know. I think it helped me with a lot of things. But it was, I don't know if it necessarily made me less lost in my life. I don't know about that. Alright, let me see what else you guys are talking about. Wow, the Passion Project stream is actually genius. I didn't even think of doing that. I mean, Santel is in Europe right now, so I don't know if I'd be able to get him on a stream with me, but the Passion Project streams would be kind of crazy. And people don't know about Passion Project 2. So we dropped the sequel on SoundCloud, and it all of it was samples and stuff that we could never clear. So we just like dropped it as like a little thing. But that would be really fun. That'd be super fun because we had a lot of fun with that project too. Let me see. So, okay, Crazy is Trey's favorite song. Chords for Only One. Yep. Oh, I love Only One. Somebody says, Guy here the dish on hooking up with Jaden on the whole album. He's everywhere on there. How do you get so stuck in on your story and process? Well, I kind of had like, I had a few different collaborators on this album, and I kind of, Jaden was the one that kind of unlocked this album for me in the first place. I had started writing some of the music, and then we made Only One. Only One was the first thing that we ever made together. And it was crazy. It was a really crazy feeling because we had a long heart to heart on Only One. Let me also just like open up Only One and see what that one looks like. I'm sure I'm missing almost everything in this session, but we'll see. Oh yeah, this one I don't have much on this at all. So basically, because I performed this album and I played pretty much everything, so I have all the samples and all the little things that I used to play live. But even in this song, Jaden came out at Coachella and performed this with me. So I don't even have half of his vocals on this song because we took him out so that he could perform it. Anyway, so on Only One, we had like a long like heart-to-heart conversation. I was in the thick of it. I was really going through it. I was really in my feelings when we made this. Actually, wait, no, I'm getting this wrong. We made Only One, and then like a week later I called him, and that's when we had like the heart to heart, and I explained everything that I was going through, and what was going on in my life to him, and what I thought this album might be about. And then immediately following that conversation, well, from my perspective, all I know is like I went to San Diego or something like that the next day, and I was on the beach at night, and he sends me an MP3 of the song, and he had rewritten his entire verse. He had gone back and changed his entire verse. And what he did is, and it was a powerful moment for me because he changed his verse to be about me, and basically as if he played the character that was me in my life, he wrote the verse from my perspective, and that absolutely changed the way that I looked at the entire album. First off, I felt so seen, you know what I mean? Like it was extremely emotional for me to feel that. I was like, oh, I felt heard by someone who literally like heard what I said and turned it into art on my behalf. So it was a crazy moment for me, and an unbelievable verse, by the way. Shout out to Jay, like what a verse. We should honestly play a little bit of it. So after that, felt like my voice on an album. And a lot of this album is kind of just like expressing emotions or painting emotions that I was going through. And I think Jaden became the voice for whenever I was actually saying something, like whenever I was actually speaking my mind. That was like he played me, like he said all the things that I wanted to say, basically, on the album. So that's why his voice is everywhere. Like, it's on City Bike, it's on Only One, it's on Tell Me How to Feel, it's on So Cold. I'm sure it's getting other places too. Falling Down is literally a derivative of Blue. I've told this story a million times, but I'll tell it again. Let me actually see if I have. See, I literally don't even have that because I was playing it live. Alright. Oh, here we go. So see, I'll show you guys. This is what I have on this song. These are the amount of stems that I have. So I can't go into full depth on everything, but if you listen to these drums, it was like really, I wanted to paint the picture of what it actually felt like to be in that room. So if you hear on each kick, I think on the snares too, there's a sound of like a spoon in a bowl. And that's because we were eating, we were eating these bowls, these salad bowls, and it vibrated on top of the speaker whenever the kick and the snare hit. So I was just like, oh, that's a really cool sound, and it felt like it was a part of that moment. So we took the bowls and like recorded it and brought it into the actual session because it was like a part of the whole feeling while we were writing it. But yes, if y'all don't mind, I would love to just hear this Jaden verse because I haven't heard this in so long.
On the phone, I gotta take the call out. Alabama, shake you off. I made your favorite playlist in my basement, dog. Take away the A-list, man. Let's play some ball like soccer. Kicking it with Harry like Chewbacca, man. I gotcha. Never been a roster, but I always keep the essence. Teachers couldn't test these little jokers out of lesson. Here's a lesson for the kid that's living life way too aggressive. You could be professors, you just need to switch professions. Wanna do what's right, but homie, look the way they left them. Let's switch directions. We need to open up our spectrum. So when my set comes, you see the way my flows infect them and they inspire them. Teachers politics, they tire them. You see them tires, man, drilling oil out the ground. Swear we need to fire them. All these homeless people around, you know we could hire them, but we choose not to. Gentrification when the blacks move and the cops do too. I'm coming with you if you got a problem. Here's a noose, a tissue, and a lucid pistol that we snuck across the border illegally. So sorry.
I think there's a lot.
But when you need me, I'm gone.
There's at least 3 going at the same time, always.
And I'm sorry about your son that I murdered in the street. And not this fresh verse or this jazzy ass beat gonna help you cause it's gone. Damn, he's really gone. Shit, what's going on?
So this is from the original session, and then right here you changed everything.
But we can make it, girl. Even if you need me to strip naked in Times Square just so we can take it there. The key to this is patience, girl. The lotus grows out of the mud like 4 quarts of blood from a virgin who never heard the word love come from a person who felt that feeling. It turns out that the world's a circus, it isn't perfect. I've heard of stories of a surgeon that cut someone and there's no heart in him. Did you steal it? Huh. Can you feel it? Wrote my feelings on the ceiling, man, I swear it's so revealing that the lotus flower grows up from the mud. Every time you bathe, you put 4 hearts in the tub, then you squash them, then you blend them up, drink them all for breakfast. You're a monster and your friends are gone. Depression is infectious and it's awesome. You're so crazy busy, you ain't noticed that you lost them, but when you're feeling low, you grab some diamonds from your closet. You're superficial, now you look into the world, but girl, the truth is simple. Let me give you some info. Take off your damn makeup, cause I don't give a about a stupid pimple, all this damn tempo, I'ma lose my mental. I went to bat for you. I produced your whole album, every chord had your attitudes and attributes. This is me getting back at you. But you did what you had to do. Girl, you were magical and let it run deep. You were mine.
And let it run deep. Ah, shit. You were mine. Crazy. Wow. That's emotional, man. I can't even lie. That was emotional. Yeah, it takes me right back. That's wild. Okay, so that's only one. You guys got any other questions about only one, or should we listen to something else? Please answer my question about musicality, or else I will cry. Ask it again. Let me see the question again. Oh, okay, I found it. There it is. What and how do you practice to improve your musicality, both as a musician and as a producer? Listen. Listen to music. Listen to music and get physical with music. That's the main thing for me. I started out as a drummer, and I didn't really realize how important that was until I was way older. But I realized that I got to be a part of music while studying it without getting discouraged by all the math and theory and all the hard stuff, all the stuff that generally is discouraging for people. But I still felt like I was part of it. So I grew up playing drums to like predominantly like gospel music, like fusion jazz music, soul music. So I was just like enjoying incredible music, harmonically advanced music, and just got it into my brain without being discouraged by like learning the math of it. So I say listen to music, be like, drum along to the music, chop up the music, sample the music, and just find your way of studying it. I think that's the best way of evolving your musicality. And I think outside of that, one thing that I do is whenever I do resampling, and this is just like a random practice, but for all the producers, like you might have like a one shot of like a one note of some sort, and you throw it on a keyboard and it turns it into an instrument, and you play stuff out of that. Never, and it goes the same, like if you have weird keyboards that are like in a different tune or whatever, or if you repitch your song halfway through the process or whatever, never adjust your keyboard. Never set your keyboard to the key of the song if it for some reason is out of key. Play it instead. So say like if I'm working on a song, I might have like I have one keyboard that's like consistently a semitone off, and that I never fix it, because it makes me have to replay the same stuff that I just played in a new key every single time. Same thing goes for if I drag in like a one shot and I play it, I never correct it. I never set it to the key. I play it in whatever key it forces me to be in. And that way, I'm practicing a million different keys. I might play the same song in 4 or 5 different keys, and learn the progression and learn the melodies and scales that way. That's been like a really efficient thing for me. I do that a lot. So that's like, I don't know, in terms of musicality stuff, I guess. Let me see what else. After your vocal crescendo on Tell Me How to Feel, the female singer, which is Astrid, by the way, shout out to Astrid, who comes in, sounds like hope to me. Still gives me chills every time I hear it. Do you feel that way about the ending of the album? Yes, absolutely. And that was the entire purpose of that voice. It was supposed to be, because the entire album is like a cast of characters that like play all of these different emotions. You know, Tokyo and Jaden and Vic. They all like are like all these different energies and emotions that are like doing its thing the whole time. And then you hit Tell Me How to Feel, it crescendos, and then hold on, actually let me open up Tell Me How to Feel. Because Tell Me How to Feel, basically what I wanted on Tell Me How to Feel was basically have a kind of like an anticlimactic ending, to where it's just like I just went through all these emotions and they're all still there. It's all still happening. They're not gone, even though I've processed them. So at the end of Tell Me How to Feel, it goes into this loop. Hold on.
Who the fuck cares anymore? Who the fuck
Kind of like
cares anymore?
a very defeated
Who the fuck cares anymore?
emotion.
Who the fuck cares
And I'll play this
anymore?
without the synths, so you guys can hear like what's going on.
Who the fuck cares anymore? Who the fuck cares anymore?
Then I bring in more and more pieces from the different songs throughout the album. You dye your hair. I don't. Fuck you, you were magical. Santel. Anka. And originally I was just gonna stop it right there. Originally I was just like, it's just gonna be an anticlimax and just stop right there. And then I was like, there should be some sort of beam of light. There should be some sort of thing that represents hope. So that's why I wanted a very pure, beautiful voice to come in. And Astrid was just the perfect voice for that. So I asked her to come to the studio. We recorded this thing in literally a couple hours by the piano. And it's kind of supposed to represent like what if there's something else? What if there is, post all these feelings, what if there's a silver lining? What if there's another chapter? What if it's not the end? What if everything is not everything, basically? And it's honestly one of my very, very favorite pieces on the entire album. Because after that whole build up, it goes,
what if I said I could love you better?
pure.
What if I said you'd be in control? What if
get it.
I get it. What if everything's not everything?
And that's how it ends. Yeah. Wow. That's really one of the best pieces of the album, honestly. It's so simple and it's so beautiful. She said, what if I said I get it? Just literal understanding, compassion. Ah, wow. Yeah, bro. Powerful. And this is a crazy song in general. In a lot of different ways, but I don't know. What other questions do you guys have about this? Let me see what's going on here. Astrid is amazing. You're absolutely right. The TV channel effects, yeah. That stuff is really fun. I think, because I'm pretty sure I have that here. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of be like zapping through emotions. So I made like so those. Let me see if I can at least like solo this stuff a little bit. Hold on. So on here. That's crazy. So the first one is like somebody crying with like a really like sad mellotron chord and like rain. And then the second one is like bliss, like this like happy, just the most like non-worried moment with just sparkly butterflies and birds in the background, like little nature sounds and stuff. So it's like rainy day first, and then straight to summer, and then like thunder and lightning, and somebody screaming, somebody yelling. So that's like the actual pieces. And then I added on top of that these little like zapping between channels sounds right here. I think that's everything in this moment, right?
Tell me how to feel. Tell me how to feel.
It's also interesting to hear because like a lot of things like clicked in my brain after Coachella. Like I remember I didn't have like the fills, for example, originally on those. I just had the big hits, and then I wanted like the but at Coachella I wanted to like do all sorts of drum fills and stuff in that moment, and then I added that to the album after the fact. So originally it was just but yeah, I like that moment a lot. The little TV channels is fun. It's very fun. What reverb is on the Cares Anymore vocal? I have no idea. I think it's like at this point I was using mostly, to be completely honest with you guys, I was using mostly Cubase stock plugins for almost all the sound design. Like, I didn't use a whole lot of different reverbs, didn't use a whole lot of different distortions and stuff like that. Most of it was Cubase stock. So I'm pretty sure that that is a RoomWorks reverb, or either a RoomWorks or Reverence. I think it's RoomWorks. Sounds like RoomWorks. But yeah. Alright, let me see if y'all are saying anything else. It's like a symphony. And that was definitely like, that was definitely the idea. It was like, alright, let me end this how you would end like a classical piece, where you would like try to like bring in as many references and motifs that you've had throughout your symphony or your piece, and then have it all crescendo into like a big finale. Basically, that was the idea. And a lot of this album in general was inspired by classical music, both in, you know, like musically, but also just like creativity wise, just the way that I wanted to piece things together and like call back certain things here and there, because that was always my favorite part of hearing a symphony. And you would get to like the second or third part, and all of a sudden the main melody that's been major this whole time is a minor melody, way slower, in the back behind the lead thing that's happening. And you're just like, oh wow, like that's a piece of the same universe that just brought me back. That stuff like was very, very inspiring for me at the time. But yeah. Alright, let me see what else is going on here. Whole lot of layering going on. Who the fuck cares anymore? A musical kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope? I don't know how to say that. Oh, kaleidoscope. I think that's how it is. Oh man, I hope that's how it is. Let's see. How did you make Falling Down? Well, sure, we can look at Falling Down for a second. I barely have anything on that one, and mainly is because I realized this after the fact. Looking for the sessions, Falling Down was originally just a part of Blue. I think we made Falling Down the same week as we made Only One. And we wrote it as a part of Blue originally, and we recorded all the vocals and everything at Jaden's. And then I talked to him later on. I was just like, yo, I feel like that piece is describing a moment that I need in the album, where I'm like descending into like anger and like chaos. And he was down. He was just like, all right, let's put it on both. Let's have it be a part of Blue and a part of everything.
I was trying to love you, but we
Falling down, it's falling down, it's falling
This
down.
might honestly be my favorite on the album.
It's falling down.
Teo just sounds so good. Shout out to Teo. Shout out to Jaden.
Falling down, it's falling down, it's falling down. 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 Falling down,
didn't even remember that ending. That's crazy. Yeah, so the choir is me and Teo. And this is another one of those that are just like, it's crazy looking back at it right now because I was really just using the tools that I had that I knew about. So on this one, it's just an 808 and contact piano just squashed completely, and the big synth. At the time, I was obsessed with just using like saw waves in Omnisphere. So it's literally just that. It's just saw waves in Omnisphere that I was just tweaking and messing with and layering a bunch. So I would play, and then I would add a bottom layer, and then I would add a melody on top, and then a harmony on top. Kind of just treating like synths as vocal harmonies. And that's it. That's this whole song. It's a piano. It's the Omnisphere saw wave and an 808. That's pretty much it on the whole thing. And it's my favorite. Like, it has to be. Like, hearing it back, this is the one that I'm like, I don't think I would change anything about this song. Everything else, like, I'd like to change a bunch of stuff. That's wild. Man, thanks for making me play that song. I hadn't heard that in a minute. It is Lido. I like that. Can you do an ear candy production stream? I don't know. I love ear candy stuff in general. That's just gonna be me like turning the stream stuff on, like, cause that, I'm just letting you guys know. Next couple weeks, I'm gonna be in here a lot, just cooking up with all my friends. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're probably just gonna turn on these cameras for a lot of it, and you'll just hang out with us if you want to. So we'll break down some ear candy stuff for you then. Minute 60 of asking Lido for Die. Alright, let's open up Die. Die might be the oldest demo on here. Like, this was, I made this in Norway with Magnus, like, way before I think I had even started coming out here. But this one is also like mad broken down when it comes to the stems. I did find some stuff though. I absolutely love the drums on this song, I gotta say. Otherwise, I think the song is cool. A lot of stuff that I would have changed about it, but I really like the drums. And on this one, like, pretty much all the drums is stuff that we actually did. Like, the shaker is like my shaker. The hi-hat is my hi-hat. The toms is my toms. The kick, I don't know where the kick came from, but even the little tambourine is all stuff that we just played in the room. Even the claps. The claps is just us clapping and then chopping it up. The triangle stuff we found somewhere else, but yeah. And I think I added some more toms and stuff in the studio later on, but almost everything on this song is from the very, very first demo. Even like the singing. Not that, but it's real foreshadowing stuff, because yeah, I recorded this song way before anything happened that made me make this album in the first place, and it was just one of those ones that was like, oh, this is serendipitous, I should probably include this. But even these vocal takes is from that same day. It's something about it. it's frustrating, and it's really tough to sometimes like distinguish between how much of the creative process is how much of it is demoitis and how much of it is like actually the magic of the first moment when you had an idea. Is really hard to tell. Like I get lost in it often, and I see artists around me getting lost in it all the time. But as much as I would like to, like, you know, blame those feelings on demoitis, and, you know, as much as I would like to believe that working on music is important and evolving music is important, very, very often there's something special about the feeling and the moment and your decision making right when inspiration hit you in the first place. I think more and more I'm trusting myself on just like, hey, the way that I felt and the things that I wanted to do instantly on a song, there's a reason for that. There's a clarity and a vision. There's a clarity in your vision at that moment that I think is hard to put yourself back into later. And very often you should. Very often it's a good idea to try to put yourself back in that place, but I think at the same time, like, don't underestimate like the magic of like that very first moment when you made something and it just happened and you didn't analyze it too much, and it might be kind of rough and kind of rugged, but I don't know. Sometimes that's just the way that it's supposed to be. And that's very much how I felt on this song. Like, we really didn't change much at all. Like, I will say though, like, this whole part was pretty much done. And then I added the little sampley stuff. All of that was already done too. But this part, not that part. This all happened later. Again, like, there's more drums on the original version of this, but these were the stems that we were messing with for Coachella. I would die if you would. Now I'm just exploring. Cool. Oh yeah, the big bass. I think my favorite part of this song is this breakdown section. I love how broken down it is, and with little vocals on top. Let me see. Hold on. Let me play the version with the actual vocals. Let me do like this. Boom. Where are you? There you are. Would dye your hair. You would dye your hair. Baby girl, I would die if you would dye your hair. So don't change. Don't change. Baby, don't change. So the crazy thing is, like, don't change. I'm serious as ever, don't change. concert. This album is weird, man. Like, I did a concert with orchestra in Norway called Cork, the Cork Orchestra. Some of you guys have probably seen the video on YouTube. And I played all of these songs. Basically, I've been talking to this orchestra for years, like, about doing something, and they were just like, "Hey, I think it's time." Like the leader of the orchestra was like, "Hey, I think it's time. We should do something together." I was like, "Cool." I'm in a really weird pocket right now. I'm making this experimental, like, electronic fusion emotional thing. Would you guys like to be a part of it? And they were just like, "Yeah, absolutely. That sounds fun. We've never done anything like that before, so let's do that." So a lot of the orchestra stuff on the album is actually pieces that I grabbed from a live performance of the album, or a lot of pieces of the album before any of it was done. Like, we played Die, and Die wasn't even close to done when we played it with the orchestra. Same thing with Murder. We played Murder at a point where the song wasn't even called Murder. We played Angel. I think we even played Crazy. And these were all demos at that point. So a lot of the orchestration that you're hearing on here is actually from live performances, a live performance of the songs before the songs were even done. Such a roundabout way of doing it, but came together really nicely. All right, let me see what else. We have not done Angel yet. We could look at Angel. Bella says, "I love that every project you've shared has been a collaborative effort. How do all these artists inspire you in your music and outside of music?" I really feed off of other people's energy, and I think the synergy of collaborating with other people that have great musical minds is extremely important. And those are usually the moments that are, like, the most special to me. Like, I truly believe that, like, if you just work on your own and you just make music by yourself, that's great, and you're gonna do really incredible and great things. But at the end of the day, you have a ceiling. You have, like, a ceiling of, like, this is what I can do. This is my input. This is my knowledge. This is like as far as I can take things if I just depend on my own energy and my own knowledge. The second you add another person into the mix, you don't just add their ceiling on top, but you add the synergy of these two. And that synergy is absolutely immeasurable. Like, you have no idea where the ceiling of two different people combining creativity together can take you. You have no clue, because it's beyond their potential. It's beyond your potential. It's a third equation somehow that, like, is absolutely magical. You have no idea how far you could go if you mix and collaborate with people. And if you don't, you're, at the end of the day, you're your own ceiling. So this has definitely been a collaborative effort in every single way. Like, none of these songs are exclusively my effort, maybe except for You Lost Your Keys and one or two others. But it's really, I think it's really, really important to get input from other people and collaborate. I think it's essential. I think I wouldn't have made any of the incredible music that I made in my life without the incredible people that I've made it with. I don't know if that really answers your question, but that's what I had to say about it. Let me see. Yep, we've done only one. Tell me how to feel. Falling down. We did die. Yes, everybody go check out Teo. Sorry, I'm behind in these comments right now. I'm trying to catch up. I did not go through Catharsis yet. We could look at Catharsis. Not related to any song, but what's your favorite mics for everything, like vocals, field recordings, etc.? I think on this one, I recorded in a lot of different places on a lot of different microphones. I think the consistent one across everything was the Mojave 300. I think it's is it MA 300? Which was like my main microphone that I used for a very, very long time. But all of these things, all of the stuff that like really sounds extra crazy, I had help. I had engineers, I had talented people in the studio with me who helped me mic stuff and record stuff. And so I don't know exactly all of the microphones and stuff that we use on this stuff. And this is also like 2016, 2015 I made most of this music, 14, 15. So yeah, I don't know. But the Mojave 300 is my main recommendation to everybody who's starting out who wants a decent vocal mic. I think most of my lead vocals was done on that. It's kind of crazy how low Lito's voice go on this one. Hey man, I got some bass. Let me see. He's always on chat delay. I know. I'm so far behind. I'm sorry. I need to get better at keeping up. Hold on. Let me just slide to the bottom and actually see what's going on right now. When I realized where Crazy was from. Oh, you mean the Blackstreet song? Because also, I mean, obviously, like Crazy is a Blackstreet song, and that's how I met Teddy Riley in the first place. Shout out to Teddy. But what a lot of people don't know is let me see if I can find this. Wait, what? Are they not on? I must be tweaking. There's no way. I'm gonna find this. Maybe not? Whoa. Maybe they took their stuff down? Huh. Well, in that case, I guess I won't be telling you guys if they're trying to be low-key about it. But there's another sample in Crazy as well. A song called a song by a group called Powers. But I can't find the song anywhere. That's crazy. They must have taken it down. All right. Anyway. Any plans for shows in Norway next year? Yeah. I think I'm gonna do a little show in my hometown next fall, with some friends of mine, but I'll get back to you on that. Show the pedal board. Oh yeah, I'll definitely show you guys the other stuff in this room, as we're making stuff like for the next couple weeks. I'm gonna save that though. Tap back in with me for that. Oh yeah, the crazy video. I absolutely love the crazy video. The crazy video was inspired by Fantasia in the first place. I don't know if you guys have seen Fantasia, but there's a scene where Mickey is kind of like conducting the elements, and conducting, I forget, it's like a is it the waves or the rain or storm or something like that? Anyway, he was like physically conducting stuff that was cued to music. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And at the time, I was on tour, and one of the many heroes, but really one of the essential characters in my live show was my lighting designer. His name is Mike Sheck, and me and Mike had a very special relationship when it came to like setting. He is such a musical guy, and he would set lights to my music in a really explosive and fun way. And so we wanted to do like our live show, take that concept and just blow it up. And basically we spent 3 days in a studio space. We set up a crazy wall of lights, and then me and Mike programmed this wall of lights, where he was like physically, you know, doing a lot of stuff, but also had certain things that would happen to the music. And so we programmed this crazy light show that went along with the music, and then basically what happened is I studied that light show and I learned how to conduct everything that was happening in the light show, basically. We recorded it after like a couple days of rehearsal. I think we did like 4 or 5 takes maybe until we really got it. It's a 1-take music video of just me basically conducting this crazy light show, and it's all live. There's no CGI. There's nothing. We literally did that physically in the room, and it's by far my favorite music video that I've ever done in my life. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. Go check it out. And we're talking about the music video for Crazy right now. But yeah, the inspiration was Fantasia and just the incredible job that Mike would do on my live shows. Yeah, that's what made us do that in the first place. Axel is back in Norway. He's coming back here soon. But he's in Norway right now. Let me see what else is going on in here. Oh yeah, somebody just joined and missed out on the falling down situation. Basically, I'm sure somebody will let you know also, but Falling Down was originally Jaden's song. Like, we made it for Blue as a part of Blue, and then it felt like it also belonged on mine, so we decided to put it on both. But it really was just a part of Blue first. Do you have any desire to make any other music videos for Peter? I don't think so. I think, we planned quite a few music videos for it, and the pandemic kind of made everything so difficult to do in the gearing up for that album, that I think that moment is what it is, and I'm just gonna let it breathe and be the way that it is. So I don't think I'm gonna do any more videos for the Peter album. I don't believe so. No. Let me see. Yeah, Fantasia really is timeless. Like an absolutely timeless piece. I still watch it every now and then. It's so inspiring. Why is the audio of the Crazy video different than the official audio of the song? Great fucking catch. I don't know, man. I was doing the like let me change the song after it's out thing before everybody else started doing it. There's definitely like quite a few different versions of these songs that was released in different ways that are just like not the same. I think we released that song probably almost a year before the album came out, and I think I was just like in a mode, and honestly this is how I look at my music very often. I'm kind of like, if I'm not entertaining you and giving you something fresh, then I don't want your attention. Like, I don't want to waste your attention in any type of way. I think that's like one of the things that like drive me to put as much detail and as much, as many layers as I do into my music, is that I want you to be able to discover something every time. And just when it came time to turn in that album, I just wasn't completely satisfied with all the pieces on Crazy, and I changed up certain things and just put it on the album version. I forget what we exactly. I think we changed up some drum sounds. I even think we like changed up a whole part. We added like new chords and stuff. But anyway, if you're curious about this, check out the Crazy video and check out the song on the album. Cool. Let me see what else is going on here. You guys are very sweet, by the way. Thank you so much for all the kind words. I love that you guys still love this album so many years later. This is very cool to see. Yeah, you're right. That album is definitely a movie in of itself. My most proud moment musically, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. There's so many different ones. Oh, there was a guitar version of the Crazy one too. Yeah. What do you think it is about Norway that gives us so many great producers like you, Stargate, Kashmir Cat, etc.? It's cold, man. It's cold, and if you're not from a city where stuff is going on, there's not a lot of stuff going on. Like, I grew up in the forest. Like, there was nothing happening. I think that's part of the reason there's so much incredible music coming out of Norway. I'm sure there's something in the water, and I'm sure a lot of great musicians have been inspiring each other in Norway for a long time. But in my case, a lot of it was just the isolation of it. It was the peace and isolation and just the ability to sit by yourself. Because the whole winters, we just hibernate. And we just sit inside and get really good at whatever it is that we like. Whether that's video games, or if it's guitar, or if it's production, or if it's knitting, or whatever it is. We just get really good at whatever hobbies we have, because so much of the year you spend just chilling inside. You don't really want to be outside. That's my theory anyway. I think that like has like been, boot camp for a lot of producers that have just perfected their crafts like throughout the winters in Norway. That's my theory. I don't know. All right. Is there any other songs that you guys want to hear on this thing? I feel like I have time for one more before I have to go back to making new music. And let me see. Catharsis. Yep. Alright, Catharsis could be a good one. Let me see if there's any others. How old was I when I came to America? I was like 20. I was 20 when I first started coming out here. Fuck yeah, there's a forest. Yeah, you're absolutely right. City Bike, Catharsis, Angel. Okay, seems like those are the ones. Whichever you have most content in, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, I got stories about all these songs. I got context, but what was the vibe in the studio like when the vocals were laid down for City Bike? Interesting. Sure, why not? I think City Bike is one of those ones that I have the least stems for, but let's open it up and see. So basically, City Bike was a bit of a journey. I made the original idea for City Bike in a studio with Brass Tracks and Yogi a long time ago, and we flipped this Frank Dukes bass line, and that's the Frank Dukes bass line that we flipped, and then we added a ton of crazy stuff to it. And let me see if I have these vocals. Oh, I do.
Whatever.
This is really interesting because this verse is basically me and Jaden and Tokyo like back and forth, like saying a bunch of different things.
Whatever. I tore my heart out of my chest onto a planet just so we could be together. She blew me off like a feather. Fuck it then.
Oh yeah,
I might fuck a friend.
Who the fuck
Cares anymore? Who the fuck compares to this voluptuous succubus bitch? Where the fuck are my keys? 2, 3 dimes on me.
Wow, I was
mad.
mad.
Fuck it. I need a drink in the bucket.
You tell your girlfriend suck a shit to take a suck.
I fucking loved her.
She told me I'm a asshole.
Cold ass. But the ass though. Tell the jeweler never mind the wedding ring.
Fuck her, fuck this.
Fuck everything.
Jeweler never mind the wedding ring.
Fuck her, fuck this.
Fuck everything.
That's probably like my favorite moment in this whole verse. There's a lot of funny ass moments in this verse for sure, but this one, when it's like each side is saying something else, it says
Fuck her.
because the left side, Jay says fuck love, I say fuck her, and then
Fuck this.
there's another fuck love on the other side, and then it's fuck this, and then
Fuck everything.
and that's Jay and Ash like saying it at the same time. What
Whatever.
a crazy verse. It was basically, I forget exactly how I got the inspiration to do this verse like this, but I guess like it was just the idea of like emotionally glitching out and like losing your mind a little bit, and I don't know. Just kind of being all over the place. This, to me, this is really the drunk song. This is really the moment where it's just like, all right, I've lost my mind. I'm angry and I'm just getting drunk. So this first verse was supposed to like mimic like getting drunk, and I just had so much fun. Oh wait, no, yeah. I was also very inspired by there's a Kanye song that does this same type of idea. Blame Game does like kind of like the similar stuff. And I remember I was really inspired by that. But yeah, that's all of our voices back and forth. And then it goes into like really, really crazy synth stuff after that. Like it's probably the most dramatic synth stuff on the whole album. Which is just supposed to just portray like just anger, just
Fuck what you feel like.
and this is just like so many layers of synths. Like I think almost every single piece of this is like a recorded like one melody. That's very often how I like doing synths. That I'll kind of just like, they're not really so much chords necessarily. I record them as just a bunch of melodies like intertwining. So like there's a ba da 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 da, doing this thing in there, and then da 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 da, but also ba 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 throughout the whole thing, and then ba da 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 da, all just different synth patches squashed into one. I love these synths. And I saw there was a question about the bells at the end. So that's actually a bike bell that I bought. Like I literally I went everywhere in LA and I bought every single bike bell that I could find, and then we like tried to like file them down and like tweak them and do all sorts of stuff, and eventually like I actually came up with like a little kit. So on tour, if you came and saw the Everything tour, you know that I actually had the bike bells. I had 3 bike bells, bing, 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 and we would play. I would play the bike bells melody. But yeah, this is actually one of those bells. Just pitched around though, because I like the way that this one sounded. So this is one bell just pitched. Yeah, and then stacking it with the little stuff, and then the only one chords. Maybe the best transition on the whole album. I remember that was like, when that hit, I was just like, oh, we're making an album. I love that. I love that outro. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and then, all right, so the question, the original question that I completely got away from was the recording. What was the vibe in the studio when we recorded this stuff? And the vibe in the studio was good. Most of this stuff happened, like most of this stuff was recorded after most of these emotions had already passed. So this was one of those songs that like I brought the story and the feeling, and I knew the night that I was talking about, and I knew the feeling that I was talking about. But we recorded the first verse first, and me and Jaden was in a studio. We wrote this verse together, and recorded it. We recorded most of his vocals first. I think he recorded pretty much the whole verse, and then I took pieces of it and switched with my vocals here and there. We recorded all of that in LA in I forget what that studio is called, but we recorded that in the same room that we recorded a bunch of the stuff on his first album. I think that was the same day that we recorded Hope. But anyway, we wrote that, and then I sat with the song for a long time. A lot of people had the song, and a lot of people were supposed to get on the song. Like at one point, Young Thug had this song and was gonna put a verse on it. That fell through. But I had a bunch of different people try to do verses on this, and Tokyo is the one that like embodied it the most. I remember we recorded the Tokyo verse at Shangri-La. So at Shangri-La there's an old bus. It's an old tour bus. It used to be Bob Dylan's old tour bus, and he parked the bus at the house and kind of just left it there when he sold the house to Rick, and Rick turned the bus into a studio. So it's like an old cool ass bus with a full on recording studio inside of it. And me and Tokyo were working in Shang quite a bit at the time, and I put up really late one night and I was just like, yo, we have to do this verse now. And I forget who was, I think Lady Gaga was in the main studio that night. And so we couldn't use the main studio, so we were in the bus recording this in the middle of the night. Yeah. And Tokyo did the entire verse like right then and there. And it was perfect. It was all the emotions that I wanted. He was like, he embodied like his own story within it too, but that was crazy. So yeah, that verse was recorded in Bob Dylan's old tour bus in Shangri-La. And I really love it. Actually, let me hear that real quick. I want to hear the actual verse on that, since we're in the flow.
Whatever.
That's also crazy.
Whatever.
Like on the Coachella version of this, it doesn't start with the 808. It starts with the but at Coachella we played it without it.
Whatever.
That's crazy. Wait.
Yeah, it's hard to get lonely when that money.
Oh my goodness. That's right. You goofy.
Look, this energy get to talking to me.
Tell me I got some bad bitches with
Better pussy. Ex-hoes all friends now, they plotting on me.
We should all have orgy.
Yeah, it's hard to get lonely when that money on me and that drink on me. Off the Zans, counting on my bands. It's hard to think about your 3 freak hoes here. Do anything for me, bitch. I'm back in the field. Had to get my fit dirty, oh, need ya. Got my name tatted too early. Haha, cover that up. You ain't deserve me. me. I say, bitch, no, you dead to me. Fuck who you fucking know. Better not be fucking wrong. I'ma have to cut you off, bitch. I gave you everything. Everything.
Anger.
Fuck what you feel like. She got 2 friends and them skin tight.
And the Santel vocals in the background. Wow. Man, this was a crazy song. Really crazy song. Thank you guys for making me listen to this again, because I was tapped out of this completely. I hadn't heard this in a long time. So cool. Wow. Oh yeah, somebody asking about the Discord in here. Everybody, please hop on the Discord. That's where, like, I'll let you know first and foremost about cool stuff that's happening. Man, this sun is beaming right now. Hop on the Discord. I'll be on there every now and then. I'm trying to see if there's any other. Are there any other, like, questions that you guys have about this album that you guys want me to knock out before I dip? Let's see. Oh yeah, somebody caught the bells. That's fire. Oh man, I have those bells in a storage unit somewhere. I might have to bring those out. How did you make those glidey pretty parts underneath the bells? I forget. I think that's like an Omnisphere thing. I'm pretty sure. Yep, and the Omnisphere tremolo piano at the end. Yep. I remember you said once on Insta Live Peter was going to be like a part 2 to everything. Did that change while making Peter? And how much of everything relates to Peter? Honestly, none. The music that became IOU 1 and IOU 2 was originally supposed to be a project called Nothing. That was supposed to be the sequel to everything. And then for some reason that didn't feel right to me. So I divided up all the music for Nothing and turned it into IOU 1 and 2. But yeah, the IOU projects is technically the extension of everything. The Peter album is entirely a new story, like a whole new storyline after all of those emotions and all that history. So there's not really much of a relation there. IOU though was definitely like a continuation of everything, and it was supposed to be called Nothing. And then we got a little Norwegian chat going on in here. That's cute. I like that. Oh wow. Wait. Did you get a chance to peep any of the demos from the Everything sample pack? Man, no. I've completely forgot. Shit. Alright, I'm sorry. I actually completely forgot to check that. And I am running out of time. You know what? Because this, as much as I love going through this stuff and like reminiscing on how everything came together, this really is about the Everything pack. So if you haven't caught this information yet, I went through all of the files that I have for the Everything album, and I made a drum pack with all of the effects and all of the drums and everything that I used on this album. And you can get it right now. It's on gocrazysounds.com. And it's sick. It's a really inspiring pack. Like I was looking at it the other day, and I was just like, man, I'm actually gonna dip back into some of these sounds, because some of these sounds I spent some real time designing. And let me see. All right, I will get to that. I promise. If you guys make anything with this pack, please send it to me. Slide it to me, however. I'll probably see it somehow. But the quickest and most efficient way of getting it to me would be to get on lidogotdemos@gmail.com. Send me the MP3. I'll listen to it. And you know what? We should do another stream where we really go through demos and stuff for that. I'll keep you guys posted on when we do that. I don't know exactly when that's gonna be, but I do really want to hear what you guys have been making with this pack, because this pack has been very inspiring for me. I've dipped into it a little bit and like used it for some new stuff, and it's really fun. It's really, really fun. So go get that pack. It's on gocrazysounds.com. I also put up a playlist on there with a ton of music that I find especially inspiring, production wise, and sound design wise. So peep the Go Crazy playlist, Spotify playlist. I'm gonna make the same thing on Apple Music and Tidal as well, so the people who use that can have it as well. And we're gonna keep putting cool stuff on the Go Crazy website. I just literally, while we were listening to this, I had an idea for something to put on the surprise button, so peep that in a little bit. There might be something kind of weird on there. And yeah, get the pack, enjoy it, use it however you please. Go crazy. And if you make something cool, please send it to me. lidogotdemos@gmail.com. And I'm really looking forward to checking it out. But yeah, there's somebody waiting to get into the studio right now, so I have to go and do my thing. But I love you guys very much. Thank you for kicking it with me and inspiring me, honestly. Like, this was so fun to listen back to. I'm excited, I'm inspired, I'm motivated, and yeah, this was so cool. Thank you guys for still listening to the album. By the way, random piece of information, I also just thought about this right now. I think I'm gonna do a remaster of this album, because I was really on my, like, I'm trying to do a dynamic, like, record, and it became very quiet. So I kind of want to do a remaster and just put it on Spotify. I don't know. You guys let me know if that's something that you think I should do or not. I feel like that'd be fun though, just to have it, you know what I mean, like a little remastered version of it. That'd be sick. Anyway, the Everything Pack is out now. GoCrazySounds.com. Go absolutely crazy with it and enjoy yourselves. Trying to see if there's anything I can play for you guys on the way out. Because you guys have been holding it down. I feel like I gotta play you something. What can I play you? I don't know. If you're in here right now, you're a real one. I'm gonna give you a taste of something. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but here's a taste.
Yeah, I think it's too close to God. Think it's too close to God. Think it's too close to God. But for this moment we're endless. But for this moment we're endless. Just for this moment. Touch and love while it passes by. 1,000 frames when you better not. I'm just tryna make it out alive. I'm just tryna make it out alive. Think it's too close to God. Think it's too close to God. Think it's too close to God. But for this moment we're endless. But for this moment we're endless. Just for this moment. This moment. This moment. This moment. But for this moment we're endless. This moment. But for this moment we're